Welcome to Gina's table. Grab your favorite drink, get in your cozy chair, or wherever you might be listening, and come to the table just as you are. There's no preconceived ideas here of how you should come. You should just come. This week is live from New York. Yes, live from New York. I know I told you last week that Jason would be joining me, but I kind of forgot that this was the week that we were going to NYC to watch Brooklyn run the Brooklyn Half Marathon. I love that they named a whole half marathon for her. As you can imagine, she doesn't necessarily like it. But here we are. There is something amazing about watching 20,000+ people run a race. This was the second of Brooklyn's half marathons that I've been able to watch. I missed the one that she ran in March. I do not like missing them. So it's always so inspiring to me to go out and see these runners. When we were here before and watched her first half marathon, I remember being at the opening gate and you could just hear on the pavement the pounding of feet as thousands of people started their run. And I was like, wow, that is amazing, right? The determination and the grit, knowing that you have, in this case, 13.1 miles ahead of you. Now, I should say this. If you see me running, you should run too, because something is probably chasing me and we're in danger. I'm not a runner, but I am inspired by those that do. And as I was thinking yesterday, as I was watching her run and the 20,000+ people run as well, that each one of them have a story. And now their story, there's a joint invisible string that connects them. That doesn't mean they know everyone, but they know that they came together for a shared experience. And that was the Brooklyn Half Marathon of 2024. And as I watched this, and as I thought about this, as I watched my girl run and then cross the finish line, this mama's heart was a little weepy with pride, with gratitude, with love for all that she is, all the things that she's becoming. She continues to do hard things that sometimes I don't think I have the courage to do. She's bold. She's been living in New York City. Now this is going on her 7th year of living in NYC. I don't think either one of us could have imagined that when we came for her first trip on her 16th birthday. But here she is. She's working at a church. She's finding her voice. She's becoming and really blossoming in the gifts that God has given to her. It was pretty amazing to watch her do this, to cheer her on, to love her. After Brooklyn finished her race, we found ourselves with a group of her friends and 2 others of her friends who ran the race, and lots of them who came to cheer her on, to cheer them on. They came up with some of the most amazing signs. Oh my goodness, they cracked me up. You could say they were there to encourage or discourage. I'm not really sure, but they were fun. But after the race ended on the historical boardwalk of Coney Island, and it was a little busy, as you can imagine. So there was not an actual table to be around. So we found ourselves a curb and a sidewalk and had a shared experience over the very famous Nathan hot dog with lots of conversation. The rich reality of the importance of community, coming together on a street, on a sidewalk, at a table, on Coney Island, around a race, around our friends. It was beautiful. Brooklyn may have ran her race alone, on her own strength and willpower, because that wasn't anything that I or anybody else could give her. Once she started that race, it was up to her to finish it. based on how she had trained, or maybe not as trained as much, how she was thinking in her mind, and the things that she was going to do to finish that race. But the community cheered her on and encouraged her. When she got to mile 7, we were yelling and screaming, and there was a group of friends, and there was people shooting confetti up into the air. I mean, it was like a party of encouragement for the runners. We're all running a race, aren't we? Of some kind or another. And we all need a strong community to cheer us on, to encourage us in our weakness, remind us that we can finish the race. We can. And that's really why there's a place called Gina's Table. It's a place just for that invisible string that joins us, where we grab our favorite drink and we come to a table just as we are, no matter where we are in the race of our life. I think as I have been looking for a new church family over the last 5 months, it's incredibly hard to find tables where you feel like are full, or perhaps you're not, don't fit there. And I don't want people to walk away from God, from Jesus, from community, because they don't feel like they fit at a table, or there's not a place for them, or the race that they're running is too hard and nobody will understand. And so when I think about Gina's Table, and while I'm working on ways for it to be more interactive and more in person, I also understand my own weaknesses and my own hangups and my own places where I have to get over a few things, right? As I shared last week, as I've been trying to figure out opening up the table and healing those places in me that needed to be healed before I can be effective in this next, whatever that looks like. It's proved to be a bit challenging, but I know that this is what we're meant for. We're meant for community. We are meant to be at tables where we can encourage one another in the races that we're running. There are new things coming, and I do believe that there needs to be more tables. So as I do almost every week, let me ask you, who's around your table? Who's desperate for a place that they can belong? Maybe your table is pretty established. You've been friends with this group of people for a long time, but maybe there's room for one more. And as I ask you to think about that, and as I think about that, where can we open up our tables to find community? As I was reminded of here in the middle of New York City with millions and millions of my closest friends. But find a table where you can be you and talk about the race that you're running and be encouraged, and you will find peace. I do believe that. So, as I said, we're live from New York. Kind of sounds like a show you might watch on Saturday night. But I do hope this week you find a table to be at, and you'll join me next Friday for Gina's Table, because Jason will be here. We'll see you on Friday.